Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here at the Center for Financial Social Work for today's webinar, Gifting Clients with Holiday Financial Wellbeing. I'm so glad you're joining us. This webinar has been very educational for me as I developed it, and I think we have lots of good content that you'll be able to use personally and professionally with clients. So my name is Rita Wolfson, and I created Financial Social Work, and we're still working on the Financial Therapy Network. Let me go ahead and tell you about our agenda today. So if we want to gift clients with financial well-being, we need to talk about what is financial well-being and how do you take ownership of financial well-being. Then I have a section on consumer trends for 2015. And I think we can have a little fun with that one and see if your thinking and your plans for the holiday match up with the rest of the country's. Then I have for you 8 basics of gifting clients with holiday financial well-being. Then we have 6 simple steps to a debt-free holiday. And I said I have a lot for you, just a slide or two on our certification because we know we have new people with us today that haven't been with us in the past. Then we have a very special We Are Thankful announcement. And many of you probably are here or know that we had a contest getting ready leading up to today's webinar. So we will conclude by talking about our contest winner and going on to some questions and answers. So I thought it might be fun to get started with a poll so that you'll have a handle not only on where you fit with everybody else in the country as we look at some of those statistics, and also as I try to find this poll, how everyone in attendance today from our community fits. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this first poll. I just have a few of them today. So the poll is open, and I'm asking whether you plan to spend the same amount as last year, less, more, if you're undecided, or if there's something else you'd like to share with us. If you have questions or comments, you can enter those in the question box. If you'd prefer to address it just to me, you can put it in the chat box. Okay, so 75% of you have voted. Anybody else still want to vote? I'll go ahead and count down. This is interesting. I'm trying to remember all the stats I have for you and see where we line up. And 84% of you, I'll go ahead. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a good response. 85% of you voted. And let me share those results with you. So 38% of you are committed to spending the same amount as last year. 44% of you less than last year. No, I did that wrong. No, 9% more than last year, and another 9% of you are undecided. Okay, so remember what that looks like and what you said as we begin to move through this. So, first off, we are going to be looking at, as I said to you, owning your own financial well-being. So well-being traditionally has focused on improving physical, emotional, and mental quality of life, essentially overlooking how dependent these 3 parts of our lives are on our financial health. And that is definitely why that so many people have problems, financial problems in this country, regardless of how we're told that the economy is improving. Um, Things aren't good. They're just not good. And I think it is because, we are so focused on other things than financial well-being. So our working definition as of the moment is that financial well-being is a comprehensive understanding of your current financial circumstances. I know that for many, that's not something they want to talk about or think about. But if we don't know and understand that financial picture, we're going to have problems. And the other part of the definition is having the skills, tools, and motivation to consistently improve your financial situation and to create long-term financial stability and security. Also / better known as financial well-being. So financial well-being is feeling competent and confident to manage your money in order to create financial stability today and for the future. It's not only about setting financial goals, but it's about actively working to achieve those goals. And of course, it's a very, and this, I have a slide on this a little later, it is a very personal and individual choice. So for some, it will be more important to be debt-free, although I would love for everyone in our community to be debt-free. Some are saving for college, some are for retirement, some for a home. But we need that picture, that total financial picture, and we need those skills and tools and motivation. So here it lays out these steps of being able to manage your finances, adjust your daily spending, develop a savings plan, and understand credit. Now, those are the concrete pieces of financial well-being. But of course, financial social work, is about so much more than that. It's not just those skills and tools. So financial well-being requires recognizing how well someone makes and meets, plans ahead, chooses and manages financial products, possesses and uses money management skills and knowledge to make sound financial decisions. So why does financial well-being matter? Well, I could talk about that for a very long time, but financial stress manifests in so many different ways, physically, emotionally, certainly financially, mentally. And so you see the difference here from those in the red circles, people with high levels of financial stress, as opposed to those in the white circles with more normal or lower levels of financial stress. And some of those differences are huge, muscle tension and back pain. Someone with financial stress has been researched 51% as opposed to 31% as a result of that financial stress. And of course, as I said, I could talk for a very long time about why financial well-being matters. But we know that money leads to financial problems and money physical illnesses, money and mental illness, money and personal problems, money and problems in the workplace, and money and emotional issues. So yes, financial well-being matters to us. And what does this have to do with financial social work? Well, financial social work is a behavioral model, and behavior is what we have to change if we're going to create more sustainable long-term financial change and well-being. So the model is very interactive, introspective, and experiential. It focuses on strengths. It works with individuals and in groups. And of course, it is heavily psychosocial. We explore the thoughts, feelings, and attitudes that drive financial behavior. It is an ongoing model that begins with engaging clients, because if we don't engage clients, it doesn't matter how good our program is. We have to have clients buy in. So it's ongoing engagement, education, motivation, validation, and support. That's what people need to create sustainable long-term financial behavioral change. And at its essence, what we're talking about here is each of us has a relationship with our money. We may not think much about it, but it's always present, and it's our relationship with our money that drives our financial behavior. Our financial behavior is the way that we earn, spend, save, and share. And those are the exact behaviors, earning, spending, saving, and sharing, that determine our financial circumstances. And my little twisting arrow shows that this is where the magic happens. It is where change happens. And that's what financial social work is all about. So while I didn't anticipate discussing trends for the holiday when I sent out the initial invitation, it's a very creative process for me when I create a webinar. And I saw some interesting trends happening, and I thought that they would be beneficial to everyone who joined us today. So let's go ahead and look at some of the trends and what's new, different, and the same this holiday season. So according to Consumer Reports, 7 out of 10 American consumers say they are ready to buy things that they've been putting off. So you can determine whether you fit into that category or not. And people are thriftier despite the recovery. The Great Recession made consumers more cautious. Personally and professionally, I think that's a good thing. So consumers are buying online. In 2014, online holiday sales jumped just about 14% over 2013. And 43% of online buyers begin pre-purchase research at a retailer store website or printed catalog. So there is a movement and discussion, and you'll see this a little later, about omni-channel buying experience. So some of these terms I thought would be important for our community to be aware of also. So the mobile mindset. Mobile accounted for 45% of all 2014 online holiday traffic. And more than 50% of last year's online shopping came from mobile during those 5 days from Thanksgiving to Cyber Monday. But you will see that the predictions are shifting a bit for this year. So gift cards remain very, very popular. I hadn't been aware of that, and this is the only place where I found that, but it does make a lot of sense. As indicated, they're easy to get, and people can choose to purchase what they want, and there aren't any return hassles. But as always, you have to remember that you have to make sure not to lose those cards. You have to understand if there are certain rules about the cards, but gift cards are very popular. But here's one that I found particularly interesting. Stores are not going away. I wasn't sure about that. To be honest, I don't get out and do a whole lot of holiday shopping during the holiday season per se. But according to this, you can see that 54% of consumers who purchased online shipped to a store for pickup, and 40% of them purchased additional merchandise while in the store. Well, that's a real bonus for stores. So here are two words that I thought we should know about. And one is web grooming, which is researching products online, then purchasing them at the store. And showrooming is shopping in the store, then purchasing online. And I thought it would be interesting to see which of those our community does. So let's see which are here. Let me launch that. Okay, so which are you more likely to do? Showroom, webroom, Both? Neither? Okay. I love our community because you're so great at participating. That's why I work so hard to come up with some polls to make it interesting so you get a voice in all of this. Okay.
Sorry, Rita.
Go.
This is Dorley. You may just want to repeat those definitions in case people didn't fully absorb them.
Okay, let me see if I can. Thanks, Dorley. I guess I can't go head up. Uh, Um, Web rooming would be starting out on the web, buying it in the store. Showrooming would be um, seeing it in the store and buying it online. Thanks, Dorlee. That's Dorlee McCauley. She's our consultant and just about the best thing that ever happened to financial social work. So I hope that that's helpful. So 81% of you voted. We'll go ahead and close that and show you the results. Okay. Last year, I learned about showrooming. Honestly, until I was researching for today's webinar, I had never heard of web rooming. But that 34% for both, it makes sense to me that, as I pointed out, multi-channel earlier on, because I think that's what we do. And I found it interesting, that statistic, that people are more cautious with their money as a result of the Great Recession. I think we have to be more knowledgeable and more aware of our spending. And those of you who said you would do neither, I had wanted to add, I only get 5 choices in creating these, but I had thought about adding not going to make any purchases for the holidays. So, okay, thanks everybody, and we'll keep going. So, yes, this is what prompted me to do that poll. So, more people are saying that they're doing the web rooming. Web rooming? 88% of shoppers have web roomed in the past 6 months. And that's the search for products at home and online and buy product at the store. I think that might be difficult to find the things you can find online in the store. But I thought it might be interesting to you to understand this and be familiar with it, and to have this knowledge while we're going to go into greater depth about working with clients and gifting them with financial wellness for the holidays, how to work with them on it. Some of this terminology and some of this insight might help you to talk more openly with your clients. So, in what category do you spend the most money on the holidays? So, go ahead and launch that one. Gifts for family, for friends, for co-workers or employees. So if you want to put other, you can go to the question box and write in that, any answers you have. Oh, I see some people have written in some stuff. Well, that's not good. I don't think we have. Okay. Let's see if I can expand this. Okay, some people were talking about helping their children and giving to charity. We have some people want to travel. Okay. So, how did we do with this poll? All right. Interesting. Okay, 83% of you voted. I will close the poll and share that with you. So clearly, our money is being spent on family, everybody. That food and entertaining can get expensive. It really can. So these are just little ways to help you to rethink or think about your holiday spending before it's too late. Okay, I think we have one or two more. So the average winter holiday budget for 2015 seems to be predicting, um, just as we did, that most money will be spent on gifts for the family, and then candy and food, and so on. And these are some stats that I found. The 53% of people indicate they'll spend about the same. 32, they'll spend more. I think that's pretty much where we fell. The average spend per person is $805.65. Those earning under 50,000 will spend less, and those earning over 50,000 plan to spend more. So from last year, I thought this was interesting. We had an equal split of people using debit cards and credit cards. And I would say that that one group of 38%, those with the debit or check card, are going to be a lot happier come January than those using their credit cards. And we're about to look at some of that as we look at working with clients around the money. So let's go ahead with this next to the last poll. I just put them all right in here. So we'll launch it. When do most Americans begin their holiday shopping? Some of you were better at figuring this out than I was. Huh. This is great. Okay. 75% of you have voted. 79. I'll count this one down. If you want to vote, go ahead, and then I'm going to close it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got to 80% of you voting, and 8% thought before September. Well, I know that in August I saw Christmas materials, gifts, and decorations. Not a lot, but I saw them being put out in August. I saw Halloween being put out in July. So most of you said November, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I did it so that we could show you. Here you go. I found this very interesting. They broke it down to the first 2 weeks of December and the last 2 weeks of December. Wow, 15% of people are still waiting till December. Okay. So it is predicted that this will be, based on last year, a longer holiday shopping season. That it did begin before Halloween and will go through December 26th and 27th. That's for the smart people who buy things on sale right after Christmas, especially decorations. So my last poll was something that I added this morning as I was finishing up some reading for the webinar today. And I thought it would be interesting to see everybody's thoughts on this. So I'm going to launch this last poll and see what you have to say about EMV shopping. Well, I think I'm really glad I included this. Oh, yes. Okay, almost 70% of you have voted. I'm not going to hold this up because we still have a lot more to cover. I'll go ahead and count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll close it, and I'll share it with you. So the majority of you have no idea what this is, and it did occur to me that you need it. Everybody should know about this in our community, especially. And so I'm going to hide this, and I had added this slide, even though I didn't necessarily think I should add any more slides, but EMV is Europay, MasterCard, and Visa. That's the EMV, and that's global technology specification for payment. And you see that little chip on the card. The chip is supposed to be much more difficult to crack than the traditional credit cards with a magnetic strip on the back of it. So each chip transaction carries a unique stamp, which prevents the transaction data from being fraudulently reused, even if it's stolen from a merchant's or processor's database. So EMV has been in Europe for quite a long time, but it's newer to the United States, and October 1st was the deadline for merchants in this country to install that technology. But I believe they have a couple more months before they have to use it with all of their customers. So I didn't want to have too many polls going on. I was going to ask if all of you had EMV credit cards. The problem that is anticipated for the holidays is that it takes a little bit longer, not more than seconds, but it does take longer to check out with it. And that could be a bit of a problem. Everybody's impatient at the holidays, and so lanes move slower and people get irritated. And some stores will have the chip cards technology and others won't. So that could be confusing to people. I recently was in a store and I scanned the magnetic strip because the EMV cards do have the magnetic strip also. But if the store is using the chip technology, then you have to insert the chip. And there is fraud around the chips. Part of that I read was because ATMs and gasoline pumps are not required to have the EMV technology until 2017. And so scammers are doing a lot of bad things in order to steal identity. So here's, this is monitor your payment accounts and cards for fraud. You have to do that. You should be doing it all the time. You particularly have to do it at holiday time. Check gas station and ATM payment terminals for signs of tampering before using your credit card. If shopping online, make sure that any web pages you make purchases on are secure. You want to look for the HTTPS before the www in the URL. And make sure that your Wi-Fi connection is password protected. Obviously, chip card security technology does not work online. Most US chip cards are chip and signature, not chip and PIN. So someone can still steal your card and sign for a fraudulent transaction if the cashier doesn't verify your identity with the name on the card. I thought these were too important not to include. And so here I have them for you. So we'll quickly go through these. This is Deloitte's 2015 holiday survey. So retailers are and should be expecting an increase in spending. And buyers are planning to buy for themselves when shopping for others. We see that 44% of people do have a holiday budget. And if you don't, well, our workbook is going to help you with that. That's the workbook that is coming with this webinar. And 82% of people do online research before going to an actual store. So 69% intend to take advantage of web grooming. There's that omni-channel 75% statistic. Omni-channel shoppers plan to spend 75% more than store-only shoppers. And 50% of consumer purchases are of items people planned to buy before they went to the store. And the number one reason to shop in a physical store is the ability to see and touch the product. I like that. Plan to shop, 30% plan to shop at non-traditional venues, festivals, fairs, pop-up shops. 70% are big on shopping local. I live in Asheville, North Carolina. We are total locavores here. The number one reason to avoid physical stores, of course, the long lines. And the top reasons to shop local is to support the local economy and to find one-of-a-kind gifts. Fast and free shipping, still the most popular. Timing isn't necessarily everything. 44% of those questioned will do the majority of their shopping in December or later. And 2% don't rely on shopping on Black Friday as much as they used to. And 41 don't rely on Cyber Monday. That's where I've seen the real shift here. We're no longer, it seems, tied to Black Friday and to Cyber Monday. And REI has opted not to even open on Black Friday. They're encouraging their sports enthusiasts to get outside that day. Target was petitioned not to open on Thanksgiving, but they claim that's an expectation that their customers have that they be open on Thanksgiving. So, 8 basics of gifting clients with holiday financial well-being. And number 1, help clients to understand financial well-being is a very personal, individual, and emotional choice. This is so true, and it helps to empower people, clients, all of us, when we understand just how personal and individual and emotional that choice is. Obviously, these 8 basics are of an ongoing nature. They're not necessarily something that you can complete before the holiday season, but they're important enough to talk about at a webinar on gifting clients with holiday financial well-being. And I believe that if 1 or 2 resonate for you personally and professionally, that you can, as you work with your clients, think about how that 1 or 2 could resonate and make a difference in the client's life. So help clients to develop the skills and the tools to cope with the stress of financial problems. We know that so many people have financial problems. Many of us on this session today have them, and many of our clients have them. So coping skills, incredibly important, and we help strengthen our own and our clients' ability to cope when we address those skills and tools. Help clients be more aware of their financial behavior. I mentioned that earlier in the webinar. You know, it's how we earn, spend, save, and share that determines our financial circumstances. And that's all about connecting to our money. Identify what's in it for me. When we help ourselves, our clients, our friends, our relatives to understand how we, he, she, they benefit recognize how it's in their own best interest, then we make a difference in people's lives. Help clients to address the emotional issues which drive financial behavior. This is a more long-term approach, but it's an important one that helps with understanding where these issues come from and how they drive not only our behavior, but our relationship with our money. There's a few of the really biggies: insecurity, shame, guilt, all stemming from our childhoods. Set and work to achieve financial goals. So you could start with one or two specific goals around holiday spending with clients. And that's introducing a form of planning and helping clients begin to achieve some success. Help clients to reduce the actions and habits that sabotage financial well-being. So if you just addressed 1, 2, or 3 of those behaviors, that could make a huge difference. That's, of course, about change, behavioral change. And number 8 is to help clients to develop core money management skills. It is a life skill. Money management is a core life skill, actually, and we pretend that it isn't, and that's why so many people have financial problems. Obviously, that's not a short-term undertaking, but again, we have to start somewhere, and holiday spending is a really excellent place to begin. And so that's about teaching and learning. And so those are the 8 basics of gifting clients with holiday financial well-being. And now, winding down, we will look at the 6 steps to a debt-free holiday. That's the workbook that each of you will receive. You will either be able to download it from the webinar, or Eric plans to send out the recording with the workbook probably by tomorrow, either later today or tomorrow. So 6 simple steps to a debt-free holiday. You can see the table of contents there. I'm not going to go through all of the various components. I'm just going to highlight a few for you and wish that this phone wasn't ringing. So why 6 steps? That's exactly what you need to be able to have the information, motivation, and support to create a debt-free holiday. And as I show you these steps, you'll see why I believe that. And so all of the steps work in tandem to facilitate your taking control of your money at holiday time, but also gaining control of your life as well as control of your holiday spending. So the 6 steps: make the choice and the commitment. Those of you who have been a part of our community for some time now would know how important I believe choice and commitment are. Number 2 is create your spending plan and log, and I've mentioned that earlier in today's program. Number 3 is develop 5 holiday spending guidelines. I will go through those with you so that you're clear on them, because I think that's a really great way to be in control of your holiday spending. Number 4 is to be informed and stay informed using apps. 5 is to embrace motivation, support, and self-care. And 6 is to assess, update, and reinforce daily. The steps are in the workbook, but I'll just go through a few of them. Number two, there is a commitment form, and the workbook talks about choice and commitment. So I'm not going to go into that right now. I'm going to talk about create your spending plan and log. I mean, you need this. You need it to um, know, where you're at, to plan ahead, and to have the opportunity and ability to assess your spending, to reevaluate, reduce, or rethink how you are spending your holiday budget. Uh, and if you want to change that, and even though the holiday is, it's an expectation of gifting, that doesn't mean you have to give gifts of any kind. Nowhere is it written that that's required. So you have forms that you can use that will help you through this process. It has a supplemental holiday expense form because some of those ancillary expenses can add up to the point that it's more expensive than your gift shopping. And there we go. Develop 5 holiday spending guidelines. I think this is a really great idea to help you to avoid past holiday spending traps by addressing them proactively. And having spending guidelines helps you to stay focused on not overspending or making choices impulsively. So this is an example here. So 1, I will not shop when I am tired. So if that's your guideline, then you shouldn't shop when you're tired. Another, I will only shop at companies with good reputations. That's important. If that's your commitment, then that's what you should do. I will avoid the pressure of limited time specials. That's one way to get into trouble financially. I will update my holiday spending log daily. That's what we encourage you to do. So if you'd like to share what you think might be helpful spending guidelines for yourself, will be at the Q&A in a few minutes, and you'll be able to, I can share those with the audience. I never say who wrote these things. So, and the 5th one is to embrace motivation, support, and self-care. So the ebook program includes a journaling page with inspiring quotes to help you find positive things to journal about. It also has coping with financial stress and problems, and that has excellent self-care methods for you. You can use them personally, you can share them with others, you can certainly share them with your clients. Then we have a self-assessment form, because self-assessment really is the gift that keeps on giving. It allows you to always know whether what you're doing is or is not in your own best interest. And if we're not conscious and paying attention to how well we're doing and to assessing ourselves, then we allow ourselves to drift away from the commitments and choices that we had made. And so, in finishing up, these are the 6 simple steps to a debt-free holiday. Make the commitment, create your spending plan and log, develop 5 holiday spending guidelines, be informed, stay informed, use the apps, embrace motivation, support, and self-care, assess, evaluate, update, and recommit daily. And so there are little coupons like this that you can cut out in the workbook, share with your clients, use them yourself, keep them handy to remind you. Ultimately, finally, we want ourselves and our clients to get our ducks in a row so that we are paying attention and that our holiday will contribute to our financial well-being rather than detract to it. So it's about connecting to our money. And one thing you can definitely work with clients around is wants versus needs. And that one alone could make a very big difference in people's lives. We want to encourage each other and our clients to choose not to build debt. And most of all, I always want to stress the importance of making friends with our money. Money is not the enemy. And so, financial social work certification, there are 5 workbooks. It's self-paced and self-study. Our students have 6 months to complete the certification, and there's an online final exam, and students have 2 weeks to complete that. The certification includes 20 CEUs, and it's only $495. We show here that our curriculum is taught at the University of Kentucky and has been since 2011, and we are in the online encyclopedia of social work. So it is Thanksgiving, it is November, and we are thankful. And we are thankful for you and for your part in our community. And because of that, we are having a We Are Thankful celebration and sale. So for 1 week, starting today through November 13, I think that's the wrong code. Oops, I think I need to check that. I wish I knew the answer to that. We are thankful. We are thankful. It's $150 off the certification cost. So for the next week, you can purchase. That must be right. Thanks 15 must be right. And that's a huge savings. And we hope that those of you who are with us today that have been considering joining the financial social work certification community will take advantage of that. And I'm guessing that many of you entered our contest to win a free financial social work certification program. And we do have a winner. And that winner is Venice Morris. I hope you're with us, Venice. You can let me know if you're with us. Congratulations, Venice, and thanks to everyone who did participate in the contest. So it is time for Q&A, and I am going to find the questions and see if I can answer some of them. So, someone said, a bunch of you answered the question about what you're doing financially this year around the holidays. Someone said we have as much money outgoing as last year, but a third of it is going towards charities that benefit others and towards some studies for their child. Some are traveling to visit family. Some are buying clothes and shoes. I make homemade gifts, which saves money. Question box to shop family and food and entertaining. Someone said, could someone spending $805.65 adopt her children? A lot of you asked about EMV, but I'm sure that was before we did the slide that explained it. One of you shared that ATMs and gas pumps are where the EMV chip is most needed. So, of course, that's why that's going to be the last one in this crazy, crazy world we live in. Someone explained to me, thank you, that you can download the workbook, the 6 Steps to a Debt-Free Holiday, right from the webinar above the question box. Oh, you're welcome. Someone is thanking us for setting this up.
Excuse me, Rita.
Yes.
Just to confirm about the code. The code that you're showing right now on the screen is the correct one, Thankful 150, versus the one you had on the other screen. I just confirmed it with Eric.
Thank you, Dorley. Right, I had put in thanks originally, and then Eric told me today it should be thankful. I knew there was something wrong there, so I hope you're all still on the line, and it is thankful 150. And if anybody had any questions, you can always email us, Rita at financialsocialwork.com. There's our 800 number. You can go to the website at any time. There's lots of places to email us. Where did the financial stress percentages come from? I'm not sure. I'm not sure which financial stress percentages you're talking about. Was it last month, 2 months ago, Dorley? We did we had the American.
Oh, it was with the American Psychological Association. They had given a presentation about the impact of financial stress on Americans. They had conducted an annual survey.
Go ahead.
Did you get the numbers from there?
No. But I wanted to point out to the person asking the question that recorded webinar is on our YouTube channel, and it's from the past 2 or 3 or 4 months. But APA has been doing an annual evaluation in January on stress, and money is always at the top of that list. And so this woman, I forget her name, she shared those statistics with us. But it's kind of known that financial stress is a problem in most people's lives. There are no CEUs. I'm sorry. It takes time and money and all kinds of other things to give CEUs. So we do that with our certification, but we can't do it with these free 1-hour webinars. There are no ongoing requirements for the certification, although I wish and believe there should be. I know that the majority of our students don't want that. So we try to keep you more up to date through webinars and ebooks. So it's a one-time fee. What apps would you recommend? There are apps in the workbook, and I don't have that in front of me. There are a lot of spending apps out there that could be very helpful to you in managing your holiday spending. A couple of you asked about that code. It is Thankful 150. You have a different, will this presentation be available after the webinar? We've been recording it, and if things go well, Eric would like to have it on our website later today, if not by tomorrow. I have to do a couple of things after this to make sure he gets the recording. We don't share the PowerPoint. You do get the recording. And thank you for the presentation. You're so welcome. Good information. Thank you. Just heard about ID theft inside gas pump in Carmel, Indiana, rather than outside the pump. I think, Dorley, we probably need to do something again about ID theft. It's just exploding. Please, everybody, be as careful as you can with your credit cards and your spending this holiday. Will there be other opportunities to enter a contest for certification? I've been recommending clients to start saving in January for Christmas next year. However, that's a future thing to start. If a client wants to spend $1,000, they can set aside $42 per payday for this year. There are still gift clubs out there, I believe, and there's still layaway. In the workbook, there's a list of stores that have layaway. It is about being forward thinking. It's always about being forward thinking when it comes to money, and we don't want to think about it, so we're not going to think about it going forward either. What's an artist? I'm not able to download the book. I'm not able to download the book from the webinar. You will get it by email if you have any trouble downloading it. That's an interesting one. Someone's suggesting, Dorlee, that we do a webinar on self-care for providers of people working with clients in significant debt and how to prevent getting sucked into those issues. Didn't we do we did a self-care plan?
I thought we did.
We did.
I emailed you, by the way, the link about the webinar recording of how financial stress impacts well-being. I don't know. I don't seem to be able to send it to everyone. Do you know how to Do you know how to send it to everyone?
Do I know?
I only have the link to organizers and panelists. I don't have a link to show to everyone.
I have no idea, Dorlee. If you go to our YouTube station or if you go to our website, there is a search box and you can put in
how financial stress impacts well-being. You'll get it.
And also the self-care. We did a self-care plan. And if I say so myself, I think it was a great session. I created a lot of tools to help you. But you can always call or email too if you have further questions.
Or go to our Facebook page and you can do a search there as well.
Okay. It looks like people are just saying thank you. And I think this may be record-breaking, Dorlee. We seem to have actually finished right at 3 o'clock.
Here on February 9th, you can go to the post is called Financial Self-Care, the Missing Piece in Financial Well-Being. That was the webinar that we had, the most recent one on financial self-care. So there's one that's very recent that we had just conducted.
I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. I hope you're in a position to take advantage of the special sale price that we're offering you right now. We really are thankful for you. Each of you means a great deal to us. We learn from you as you learn from us, and we are here to help. I hope you all have much to be grateful for and thankful for at this holiday season, and that you use this opportunity to ensure future financial well-being for yourself and your clients and your families. I'm not sure if we'll have another webinar before the end of the year, but we do have something really exciting for the beginning of the year in January. So we hope to see you back here at some point in time. Bye now.
Bye.
Thanks, Dorlee.